Hello everyone, because this time we are going to repair what is a Nutribullet. This failure is the most common of all the Nutribullets since they have a quite durable motor but some microswitch not so much. I will also tell you why they fail and what is one of the solutions and how to prevent it. Well, here we are going to see that we put it and flatly look when crushing they must turn on, and in this case it does not turn. Right now I am going to turn it over so that you can see that the blade is static. If I do not suddenly put the sound and everything is because where I work and quite noisy and it sounds very bad. No, it wouldn't even let me explain. Okay, we flip it at the bottom. It only has 4 screws which are cross and we remove them quite easily. Remember that if you like my content then give it like, comment, share, subscribe, and then in the description there are 2 other channels with which you can support me. They are one of unboxing and another of travel due to the pandemic, because it has not let us work quite well. So right now until all this is over, we will resume the projects again and well. We continue a little bit with the Nutribullet thing. This Nutribullet is practically damaged by liquid, which means that the blade is probably already throwing water, so you will see that inside it is very dirty. You saw it is quite dirty, only as it then comes back here, you can try to remove the 3 screws that have that part 1. Usually remove them to clean well and wash everything. If you see that it is quite rusty then do not remove them. Now you will see how it is also completely disassembled. Remove the 2 that press the cable. Remember, always assemble just how they disassembled. Don't put screws too much or anything, because then a screw can maybe be the support of the motor and it can start to vibrate and burn. Well, these 3 are the ones I tell you that if you can't then don't remove them. There is not so much problem. I go out before to the keto because I like to wash everything well, so here in this case I already saw it very damaged. I said no, well I think it has no point. Then what we are going to do is assemble from the top, which is actually where it is disassembled. Here brings 3 baskets plastic supports. Those supports we can remove only by prying. If you see that it suddenly cost me a little work because I try to see the camera. If it does not give any problem it is the same, so there is nothing else to remove. 3 and they are quite easy. Well, in this case we are almost disassembling everything. Also remember that if you want spare parts and everything then you can ask me for it. I can send you the link of Mercado Libre or from other platforms, no problem. Here already it is, since we remove all that. Remember that we also check everything, clean everything if you can. Now that we remove all the cap, then put it in a bucket with water and everything and wash it. Well, the joke is to do a good job, and if it is yours, then much more. Remember that, yes. That if one as a technician strives for other people's, because if you dismantled it for yourself then you have to work harder. Then here this one remembers all these types of pieces that there are times that can be annulled, there are times that they cannot. Here in this case they are. It can cancel since it brings 22 microswitches. That in this case the fault is going to be a microswitch. Always 90% of failures of a Nutribullet are the microswitches. So look how I can tell you that this part is quite dirty, then this other part can be take to wash or do whatever you like without problem, but that it is very clean. Well, what are the microswitches? These little green boxes that you see there on the left side and on the right side is here, and this one here. The motor almost never fails from these Nutribullet. Their motors are already very good. What always fails is the microswitch, since it has 2, as we can see. One sounds this one here, not the one on the left side. If it sounds, you can hear the click, click, click. I'm going to see if I can put the sounds a little bit, and also check with a multimeter or in series. Practically nothing more is to put one terminal in continuity and the other equal to the connection of the microphone and press it here. As we can see this, we are going to check what the collector is, and the transition to carbons is working well. All the carbons are not, the coals are arriving well. Now what are we going to do? Because in order not to disconnect them we are going to with a cutter A knife or with whatever you have at hand, try to discover a little bit of cable, but flush with the microswitch, because I tell you flush, because if you do it before and the cable is exposed you can have a short, so to avoid that, let's go. To grab a knife, as I tell you what you like, you can scrape, because to discover that little cable right now you will see how I do it in my case, and will also tell you that you know that you can ask me anything. Not to all of them I answer, because no. I have time in another. I don't always get all the comments on YouTube right now. I'm seeing that there are comments of a month, 2 months, but that's how many people are already. If you are a technician and you can advise the other person who asked and everything, well, this one is also. It is worth that we support each other and make a community, as it is very beautiful. Then support each other to solve problems, and then perhaps avoid spending a penny on a technician who may be very far from their home or something, because those videos. They are not for those who have a technician next to their house. If you have it, better take it. Maybe they charge you 200 pesos, 100, 150 depending on, and you avoid that you damage it, then it is better to take it with him. But if it is an area where you do not have fence technicians, or the ones you have already have a reputation for being very gangsters, well, yes, well, look, we're going to put this one and we're going to press it, and you're going to see that there's continuity here. So what does this mean? That this microswitch is good. Now we're going to try the other one, and let's go. To do the same, we are going to strip a little the east the cable. Always remember, very little, very little, because if it is good, nothing of cable was exposed, and you do not have to tape or put thermofill or solder again, then do not disconnect. Nothing, not even strip cable. I'm an enemy of stripping cables, just like that. If you noticed, I don't click or anything. I say no. If it practically doesn't click at the beginning that I showed you, then it doesn't click. Then right now what we're going to do is I'm going to disconnect it. You can disconnect like this by pulling it, by welding it. I am going to leave that one there for what? Well, just for aesthetics, because if I remove it, it can break plastic and you will see a hole. Then what I am going to do here, I am going to shorten the terminals a little. What I am going to do is bypass this microswitch. You can replace it or you can bypass it as you like. You have the other one, there is no problem. The only thing that can happen is that either it stays on, you disconnect it, or it stays off flat, then nothing happens. Usually all blender appliances always have only one, unless one or the other you are missing 2 or even 3, but in this case there are only 2, then you can cancel one without any problem. I am going to put it on it. But right now I'm only going to cancel it for the demonstration here. I'm going to put a little bit of thermophile tube, because to prevent that when I assemble it to test I get to damage the armor or the fields or anything that I can have. Short, then we just give it a little bit of a turn, and this the thermofill or thermal tube as you know it. This is a tube that contracts or tightens with heat. Then you avoid using insulating tape. As a technician it looks more aesthetic and it is much safer than with insulating tape that they are always getting rid of and everything. I don't like to use insulating tape, so watch this video if I make it a little longer so you can see the whole process, because in this case it is not a device like they disassemble daily. Then, if I want you to see that if it is serious, of course, then I will still clean the collector with either sandpaper of the sandpaper 1000, 1500, or with abricol, which with the abricol is the safest. Then we are going to assemble now the Nutribullet has a position. Rotate it and it will fit in the nut that it has. Right now we are going to put its 3 screws to be able to test it. Remember that if you want to spare this Nutribullet too, whether it is blades, sockets, even motors, gaskets or gaskets as you know it from the All those types of parts one also handle, and I handle them at a good price then, and another, well, this one you support me and I support you. Practically you know that everyone who buys spare parts in me now, yes, in the Mercado Libre store or in my publications of Mercado Libre, well, you will always receive a little more advice, well, more detailed or more specific, because if you are buying a part, it means that if you are repairing it, then it is not just questions on the air, but if you are already repairing your device, always remember, always. I always wash everything. I do it like this right now because I have to make the video and I don't want to be making so many cuts that right now another cut and another cut and another cut, because I don't have time to record and imagine to edit. These are videos of It's been 2 months, 3 months since I've recorded, but I've never edited them, or when I want to upload them, I even deleted them, so no, I don't have enough time for what I want, although I'm starting the other channels, as I tell you, because those channels This one I buy a lot of things online, then I do a boxing that can help many and everything to buy things, and the other one is for trips that I was starting to do trips and all that kind of things, but this happened and well, that's it. This pandemic has practically not let us work at 100%, but well, here only what they have to check is that the fan does not rub against the wires, which is very difficult because this cap that has the back prevents the fan rubs against something, but you still avoid all that kind of stuff right now to test. Maybe it's a little more this pressure and everything, but once I put it together well and everything won't have any problem, then here I have it, a little pressure, but I'm going to get a small screw so that it doesn't come out anymore. There's no problem right now, just to try, remember. Well, since we have it assembled and everything, we check by turning that it is not rubbing against anything, then practically ready. This Nutribullet is ready because it is already done. We are going to test it and we are going to see that it does not have any faults or that it is working well. There they are. We put the cup. I am going to Putting the glass is going to start working. Of course, a noise is going to go, but I'm going to turn them over. If you look at the back, I turn, then right now I'm going to tilt it a little so you can see that if it's really working, it wants to. Say that this Nutribullet is ready. There is already a repair of this type because it is a Nutribullet. They can charge you from 150 to 320. Look at the part here of the blade to know if it does not work. Move it. If it heads, it means that it is no longer useful. Then it's throwing liquid, and that's why it's failing, because liquid is falling inside. The micro switches are sticking. So I hope you liked it. If you liked it, like, comment, share, subscribe, and see you until next time. Ciao.